I saw you posted you got more money than Ricky Rose. And let's assume you did. Well, your best friend, Birdman, his house went into foreclosure 5 years ago. You done watched that man struggle them 5 years and ain't get that man a mansion? Because if you got more money than Rose, what's another 50 million, white boy? White boy, it's one for 40 on Indian Creek. It's one for 50 on Star Island. You got 48 hours, white boy. If you got Ricky Rose money, ain't none of my went in foreclosure. Come on, white boy. I'm finna bust a bottle. White boy, don't do stunner like that. Come on, man. What happened to that? 48 hours, the countdown has begun. And that old that you got, they gave it to you free. That's a 1978. Be safe on that, Drizzy. Be safe on that plane. That old God is great. Hey, no, this be funny, because I'm going to tell y'all, it's like battling against nerds. It's like sitting in a class and you watching all the nerds put together their best science project to present to the class. Man, y'all can have that. And then y'all need to pray for Drake and tell him, park that old plane. It's a 1978. The cargo jet people gave it to him free for promo. And I ain't hating, but be safe, man. If something was to happen to you and I couldn't tell you this, be safe. And anybody getting on it, be safe, man. Wear your seatbelts and make sure the oxygen thing's in there, because that's just for luggage. It wasn't for human beings.
Just weeks after Rick Ross came for Drake sounding like his baby mama's parrot, calling Drake a white boy over and over, which is a whole other level of hypocrisy when it comes to all these people making a joke out of Drake having a white mama and a black daddy, when these men have a long history of a bunch of Drake-colored women resting deep in their fouls. Women a lot of them couldn't touch until they got money, but that's a different topic for another day. What was really crazy to me is the clowning of another man's jet and joking about how it can fall out of the sky because it was an old cargo jet, and implying that the mechanics of the plane were not up to par, which could cause a catastrophic accident for Drake, saying that he and anyone else on the plane could be jeopardizing their lives by getting on board. And he just had to tell Drake that and warn him about his plane. Tell me why weeks later, Rick Ross almost spoke this whole hypothetical story about Drake's plane into existence for himself and his own plane. Yesterday, it was reported that Rick Ross, the biggest boss, was involved in a near-fatal crash. His jet made an emergency crash landing in Dallas, Texas. Apparently, he was on the way to Las Vegas. He had a performance scheduled that ended up being canceled and an appearance at a party. His sister was on board with him as well, celebrating her birthday. That was Friday, May 3rd. Photos started circulating on social media showing his Gulfstream G550 tilted to the side in grass. The aircraft's left wing touched the ground, while the wheels were completely dug inside the dirt. The hard impact definitely caused the grass underneath to turn over instantly, creating what appears to be a ditch. Then the first thing Rick Ross did was get on social media and film this.
So, thank everybody for all the prayers, but I'm gonna tell you, we on the jet and I'm seeing the fighter jet. I see his nose. It's like Tom Cruise from Top Gun. I seen his nose. I'm seeing him in the cockpit. And I'm like, damn. I see his cheeks and nose going back from the G-force. I'm like, damn. And then, hey man, it happened. You know what I'm saying? I can't say what happened, but it happened. Come on, white boy. White boy, come on, man. But I'm gonna tell you something. What I'm gonna take back about Drake old plane, BBL Drizzy, I know you got the ashtrays and the armrest and that hindsight. That's really dope. Like, you know, some smoking, you know. But we safe, everybody.
I don't know, is it just me? But if your plane experienced some type of mechanical issue to the point where your pilot had to make an emergency crash landing, why would you get off the plane in one piece and the first thing you do is joke about Drake and jokingly put up on IG that it was him who tried to shoot your plane down? I'm sorry, but how is Drake the first thing on your mind?
Drake? Drake?
Not thanking God for saving your life, although you tried to speak into existence somebody else's plane crashing just weeks ago. No, instead you're getting on social media acting like these little kids on TikTok, a grown man old enough to have grandkids the age of these kids on TikTok, acting just like them. For those who don't know, Rick Ross showed off his jet to social media in 2023, And while he was speaking on Drake's old plane, he forgot to mention his plane was also very old. He was able to acquire the older plane and gave it a nice paint job, just like the old school Chevys you can find at a Rick Ross car show. But putting lipstick on an old jet and taunting other people about potential mechanical failure with their old plane when you can have the same issues with their old plane, well, that's pretty delusional. Now, as far as this Drake versus everybody so-called beef that's going on, I think the whole thing is giving Love and Hip Hop mixed with a dramatic, slow-paced daytime soap opera. Seriously, with all the disses released this week between Kendrick Lamar and Drake, all I see is a silly storyline from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta with a few scenes of the soap opera Passions from 1999 to the early 2000s. Lots of hypocrisy all over the place, and the argument between black people about who's black and who's white, or who's considered FBA versus non-FBA. Coach Prime posted this today, and many people believed it was in response to all the fighting going on. He wrote, "Have a blessed day and please choose peace instead of war. War will provide casualties regardless of the feeling or appearance of victory. Win the battle of life and not the provoked battle with another man or woman. Hashtag Coach Prime." A lot of people got under this post talking about Kendrick Lamar and Drake. One person said, "So who winning, Unc? Drake or Kendrick Lamar?" Coach Prime's response was Jesus. Coach Prime is like, "I am not playing with y'all. I'm on the same page. Out of the rappers, in my opinion, J. Cole is the winner, but the biggest winner will be the record labels. None of these guys exist without the machine. None of them. Every last one of them are only in front of us right now because of Universal or Interscope, and they're the ones sitting up doing the Birdman hand rub." Some people ask, well, what is this really all about? The truth is, if we talked about what this is really about, all of these people will look really lame, and we'll see lots of insecurity, jealousy, and grown men behaving emotionally like a bunch of female rappers. I think Kendrick Lamar will win this rap battle in the court of public opinion, just like Pusha T did, but ultimately Drake will win the war because his career, it's been extended an extra 3 summers from all of this when he's already been going for 15 summers straight, which is unheard of in the history of hip hop. Normally a run would last a good 5 years, but he's definitely reached heights that no one expected him to reach back in 2007, 8, and 9. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. What do you think about Rick Ross talking about Drake's plane possibly falling out the sky, and the next thing you know, he's experiencing issues himself? Special thank you to Charles B. I appreciate you, Charles, for all of your support, as well as Caesar, Leon, Dark Power, Alton, and Roosevelt. Don't forget that you can support this channel as well. Links to Cash App and PayPal are below. Ladies, fellas, want a balanced analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to like and share.
Because if you got more money than Rose, what's another 50 million, white boy? White boy, it's winning foreclosure. Come on, white boy. And that old that you got, they gave it to you free. That's a 1978. Be safe on that, Drizzy.